This next guy is extremely funny, and he runs Your Funniest Friends with a bunch of people. He's great. Jeff Steinbrunner, everybody.
Back in town, so glad. Gold Comics and Tonics. Only some of you remember what that place is. It was a nightmare. Me and my girlfriend were having problems. I figured that out when I had to pay for seeing Beauty and the Beast when it returned to theaters. We went back to see that movie. That movie's a lot different when you see it as an adult, as most Disney films are. First of all, it's like 70 minutes long. But you still have to pay $13 for it in 3D, which kind of sucks. If you don't remember, the opening sequence has everything to do with the whole townspeople are singing about Belle and how weird she is because she's hot and also reads. Like, that's just the first, 7 minutes of the movie. And then in my mind, it took a really long time for her and Beast to become friends, but it wasn't. She, took her dad's place in the castle. Then they had a snowball fight, and then they were in love. And I remember when I saw it as a kid, you're you're scared, you're feeling for Belle. You're like, oh, you're in this big scary castle and this monster. When you watch it as adult male, you just feel bad for Beast, because he's I forgot what the rose meant. That meant it's starting to wilt. He had 22 years to find love, and it's dying. It has been fucking forever since he's been with somebody. And he's got his weird dog dick now, and he doesn't know, he's got these rough pads on his hands. And I feel enough pressure, when you're trying to impress a girl, now, even if you're just out in the real world, at a bar, and you're trying to impress her, but in Beast's situation, it's been so long, and he looks weird, and his cutlery is depending on him, and it's that is a lot of fucking pressure. Also, the chifforobe kills the guy. I forgot that completely. Gaston convinces all the townspeople to take up arms against Beast, and they show up, and all the shit's just lying in the lobby, and they're like, oh, this is kind of weird. And then it comes to life, and it starts attacking them in funny ways, until the chifforobe from the balcony fucking swan dives off and crushes a guy in marble. He didn't even know that Beast was good. He was tricked, and now he's murdered. And then the chifforobe eats another guy and dresses him up like Ariel. But there's also a dead guy still on the ground, which is crazy. Anyways, me and my girlfriend broke up. The movie did not save it. It was what happened. Years of me not being into it. No, it's just. You ever get that point in a relationship where it feels exactly like just scrolling through Netflix titles? You're like, oh, I guess I could be dead. Hours and hours and hours. It was awful. I get usually I just try to recede enough so the other person breaks up with me. But I was like, okay, we're gonna do this right. And I went to her place and I was having a panic attack and I was like, I think maybe we should break up. She's like, well, that's how you feel. I think you should get out. And I was like, aren't you supposed to be devastated? How are you this cool with it? And then I remembered, last year and a half. It's not been good. We'll talk about that more on stage later when I've had time to process it. Just putting it out there right now. That's as much as you hear, want to be on my podcast, that's the other comics. So I just broke up. Happens. Okay, so, a friend of mine came out to her parents recently. It was National Coming Out Day 2 months ago, and she came out to her parents, but she did not come out as a homosexual. She came out as polyamorous. Which I didn't know what that was when I heard it. What it is, it's one person who maintains several consenting sexual relationships at one time. Which I thought, but that's weird that you come out to your parents that way, or say it out loud at all for fear of jinxing it. What are you doing? Keep that quiet. You got a good thing going. It made me think though, if you have to come out as polyamorous, that means that's going to be the new bigoted group. Like all of those anti-gay protesters are gonna just have to, like, a beautiful world where homosexuality is accepted, and they're gonna have to just move on to the next lower class. They're gonna be like, they have to revamp all their slogans. They'll be like, look at the Bible, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and Eve and Laura and Tim and John and Dale, the new Chili's bartender. It's too many hearts in twain. Someone's gonna get hurt, trust me. This is my impression of one of those anti-gay protesters in 1958. It's Adam and Eve, not Black Adam and White Eve. Guys, you guys are fantastic. Please bring back the awesome heavenly hero, Steinbrunner.
He's great. You guys are great. Everything is great. Shipper jokes. Right? Who's got shipper jokes? Shipper have to be one of the most obscure pieces of furniture, right? Shipper Davenports, armoires, thank you very much. I told him come up in here and bust up my shipper. That's my one-sentence monologue from To Kill a Mockingbird. Right?